All right, we're recording. Okay, so it is a 7:06 on the 18th of May. We're calling the Baltimore County Democratic State Central Committee meeting to order. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. We have a really full agenda today. I want to make sure we get through this in an expeditious manner. I have significant updates and timelines regarding some requirements that we have to do to update our bylaws. I'll walk through those at the point indicated in the agenda. But before we jump into the meeting too far, we're going to turn it over to Linda Dorsey Walker, our secretary, to do the roll call tonight.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Starting with District 6, Corey Edwards. Corey, you present? Anyone see him? Okay. Eric Washington?
Here.
Thank you. Crystal Francis?
Here.
Thank you. Justin Holiday?
Here.
Thank you. Scott Haluka, I think, said he wasn't going to be here.
Correct.
Next, District 7, Paul Conca.
Here.
Thank you. Ed Livingston.
Here.
Thank you. Renee Varela. Renee Varela. Anyone see Dr. Varela? Okay. Let's see, Julie Sugar.
She'll be here later.
She's not here right now. Okay.
Yeah.
District 8, Harry Bendari. Harry Bendari. Don't see him? Okay, let me know if he arrives. Elizabeth Brown.
Here.
Thank you. Emily Cook. Emily, I see you.
Sorry, I think we did unmute. So here.
Margaret Forte.
Margaret
Anyone
has
see her?
left in the family.
Oh, she might not be here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Nina McHugh. Nina. All right. District 10, Danny Blunt.
He's coming in.
Coming in.
Jay Jalisi. Jay Jalisi. Nope. Dolores Kelly.
Here.
Senator Kelly's here. Pat Kelly. Pat. Don't see her yet. Danielle Smith.
Here.
Thank you. Going on to District 11, Alejandra Ivanovich. Oh, she's not here. Linda Dorsey Walker is here. John Herp. John here. John Herbst. No. Okay. Vanessa Carrington.
I'm here.
Hi, Vanessa.
Hi.
Let's see. And Tracy Miller.
Here.
Thank you. District 12, Robert Benjamin.
I am here.
Thank you. Tara Ebersol.
Here.
Thank you. Sam Moxley.
I am here.
Thank you. Mark Weaver.
Here.
Full house for District 12. Thank you. District 42A, Jason Garber.
A key.
Thank you. This Scott Sokol.
Here.
Yes. 42B, Jeff Bonner.
Here.
Thank you. Katie Dott.
Here.
Thanks. Ann George.
Here, Troy.
All right. Full house for you guys.
Danny Blount is here now, Linda.
Yeah, marked and present. 44B, Barry Chapman.
Here.
Bishop is here. Thank you. Aisha Khan.
Here.
Thank you. George White.
Here.
Thank you. Charles Sidnor. Charles Sidnor. Don't see him? Okay. Going on to our at-large members, Ruben Amaya. Ruben Amaya. No one sees him? Nia Duggins?
Present. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Roxita Gray. Roxita? Don't see Sita, huh? All right. Cheryl Gottlieb.
Here.
Good. And Samay Kendra.
Present with an extra guest when you put.
No.
Oh,
I'm a camera off, but I'm here.
I move that he be made an associate member.
absolutely.
Thank you, Jason.
Tamara Lucas. Tamara Lucas. All right, let me know if these folks come in later on. For associates, Mark Brewster.
Present.
I'm sorry, Danita Tolson for at large. Danita Tolson? No? Okay, Mark Brewster,
Present.
present, thank you. Joan Mangy. Joan?
She's
Don't see
here.
her? She's here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Nana Phillipson? Anyone see Nana? All right. Charles Smith?
Here.
Good, thank you. And Tom Smith?
Is here.
Thank you. Gary
Happy
English?
birthday, Tom.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
Tom.
Birthday.
Gary English? No? Gary? Don't see him? Neil Jennings?
I think he's here.
Present. I'm sorry. Try to get off on mute.
Okay. David Williams?
I thought
Here. I'm here.
All right. And finally, Sebastian Sadie. Sebastian, thank you. Anyone whose name I didn't call? Anyone that came since I called your name? I think I've got everyone. We still have a quorum, although we have a lot of people missing right now.
Right. And you also, Leslie is here.
Well, I was going to ask for guests. Any guests?
Charles Seymour is coming in.
Leslie?
And Sheldon.
Grant. Hello, everyone. Happy
Thank you. And Sheldon Laskin? Sheldon?
he's
Is Sheldon
muted, but he's here.
He's there.
Okay.
Here.
Good.
I'm
All
here.
right. Anyone else a guest tonight that's not on the Central Committee? All right. And Charles Sidnor is here. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you so much. So we are going to move right into the agenda today. We've got a lot to cover. Let's go to the financial report with Katie.
Here we go. I'm going to share. Okay. Our beginning balance for our administrative account was $1,586.96. There was hardly any activity at all, just a $3 service charge. For the legislative account, the beginning balance was $26,121.87. We took in $375 for the trivia night. We also have, I just deposited a check from Senator Kelly for $750 for fundraising, and that'll be on the May's Treasury Report. So thank you everyone who attended and contributed. Let's see, we paid our rent. The NGP van, we pay it 4 times a year, and now they're including tax. It was $466.20. Our fees for taking in our credit card donations were $22.50. We ended up with a balance of $25,374.17. Our total cash on hand for both accounts is $26,958.13. We have a change of negative $750.80 from April 1st to May 1st. Any questions?
I move the treasurer's report.
Second.
Okay, it was moved by, was that Sam?
Yes, ma'am.
Who second?
Danny.
Danny Blunt second. All those who are in favor of approving the treasurer's report, say aye.
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 Any
Yes.
opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carries. Thank you so
And a
much.
special thanks to Senator Kelly, too. Wow.
Yes, thank you so much, Senator Kelly, for all your support. We definitely appreciate that. We are going to go to Linda for approval of or any corrections to the minutes.
I thought it was good that you asked if anybody had any corrections, that they get them to you in advance of the meeting.
Thank you.
All right, are there any corrections to April's minutes? If so, please raise your hand and acknowledge.
Move the minutes as circulated.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Okay, hold on. So was that Bob with the hold up? I wasn't sure who that was.
Oh, it was me.
Oh, Scott. Okay.
I have
Yeah.
something to say about the minutes. Some that were comments in the minutes that we need to address. And I'm afraid to do this, but we do need to address these comments about things that were spoken last time. So there were some major discriminatory and words and comments made about non-binary people. Last time in the meeting, I was very disturbed, as were some other people who I've talked to. I know that people in the Maryland Democratic Party had the same comments. And we need to realize that non-binary people are people. They need to be counted. We cannot discriminate against anyone in this community, especially as part of the LGBTQIA positive plus community. It's very offensive, and we need to do something with the words that were expressed. I don't know whether or not you censor those words. But it was spoken before the public, and it was critical that we made discriminatory remarks. And we are here to uphold the right of everyone to be members and to be people who can come on board the Central Committee, who can be delegates to the National Convention, and so forth. And if you have a problem with that, maybe you ought not be a Democrat. But at any rate, I'm sorry that it was raised. And I'm not the one who's furious. And I'm glad I've had a month to think about it. But we need to talk about that. And if people don't understand what's going on in the LGBTQIA community, they may need to get updated on those things and find out what's going on. I know the chair. I know you were called by some people, and that's all I have to say right now. But we need to express our phrases, our position that we are non-discriminatory under any circumstances. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Scott. And is there any other, are there any corrections to the minutes? And we'll address those comments, Scott, when we get into that section of the agenda.
What section is it? I'm sorry that I broke. I didn't mean to. I just didn't know where to say it since we
Oh,
brought
no,
it.
that's fine. That was,
Okay.
no worries. You're fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would move the minutes as circulated.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Senator Kelly, second. So the minutes have been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of accepting the meeting minutes from April, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. All right, the motion carries. Thank you very much. The minutes are approved. Okay, so we are going to move into some MDP announcements. As you know, you received a couple of emails regarding our statewide DSCC meeting is going to take place on the 22nd. So if you have not RSVP'd, please check your email. I know Michael has sent out, I think, 3 notices, which will include your ID that you'll need to use to vote. So please, 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 if you do not intend on going to that meeting, please send me an email for records purposes, and please register. Any questions about that meeting that's happening this coming weekend?
So we're
All
only
right.
we're only supposed to notify you if we're not going, correct?
No, I would like to know if you are going or not, or you're not going.
And how do we do that?
So I sent an email out, I think it was last week, asking for people to acknowledge receipt of the email and reply yes or no on their intentions of going.
Okay, I'll look for that. Sorry. Didn't see
Oh, no
it.
worries.
I don't recall getting your email, but I have replied and I have everything to attend.
Okay.
Call
It was
Gideon.
lumped in, into the email message that I sent out about encouraging the districts to meet regarding the membership structure. So it's lumped in on that email at the bottom. Okay, so just if you get a chance, if you register, great. Okay, if not, we just want to make sure that we have accurate attendance. Okay, so for the old business, we are going to move into that. As you know, yes, Neil, that is, so I'm just addressing a question in the chat before I move on. The statewide meeting are for members who have been sworn into the Democratic State Central Committee. So if you're a non-voting member, you can view that meeting via the Facebook Live page. But voting members need to be in the actual Zoom link. Okay, we'll move on to old business here. The Baltimore County Democratic State Central Committee. So as you recall, last month, Eva and Michael did a presentation to bring us up to speed on the non-binary requirement from the DNC. We also were made aware that we have to, again, gender balance at the ballot. And for those of you who do not remember, back in November of 2017, that is when the DSCC voted on the state level to do gender balancing at the ballot, and committees had up into 2022 to come into compliance with that. So we are one of those committees that did not come into compliance during that time, and 2022 is around the corner, so we need to do that now. Regarding the membership structure, that if you notice in the email that I sent out last week, I sent out a request. All these changes need to be made. The membership structure, meaning how many available seats do we want for each of our legislative districts, with the understanding that we know we are still waiting to see how the lines are going to be drawn, but we still need to get all of these changes into MDP by the July 1st deadline. And so I sent out an email asking the districts to convene on your own to discuss it and to send an email presentation And Sam, I see your email and I will resend that. I'll once I finish this sentence and we move on to the next part of the agenda, I will let you know the exact date that email went out. And it came from info@baltimorecountydems.com. So as I was mentioning, we have to have these changes in by July 1st. So that means, you know, according to our bylaws, the way it is, and we have to present proposals in one meeting and then vote on them in another meeting. And because just like when we tried to do the strategic plan, our central committee meeting is after July 1st. So that means we are going to have to have a special meeting to pass these provisions, because the way our bylaws is written, we have to present the proposals in one, and we only have one meeting next month, and then July, our meeting is in the middle of the month. So I am going to entertain, like we did last time, we're going to figure out what the consensus is going to be for the second meeting, the second special meeting. That can, and Michael, you're on here. So Linda, let me finish before I take questions. Can we send it to you? So let's say, for instance, if we have a special meeting on July 1st, our meetings are in the evening, would that suffice? Or does it have to be in like during the daytime?
That would be cutting it close, but I think I'll double check and circle back. We have a meeting with the state board soon.
Oh, okay.
I'll make sure you know before.
Yes. Okay. So we're gonna before this meeting ends, we're gonna figure out we're gonna have our regular meeting on, I think it's the 15th of June. We need to, what I was going to propose is that we turn our regular executive committee meeting into that special meeting, because the executive committee meets the first Tuesday of every month. So that is what I was going to propose today. We're not going to take a vote yet. I'm just expressing my ideas to give people a chance to think through your availability, look at your calendar, and we'll try to come up with a second meeting date so that we can have the vote on the 15th of June. So I'll take a pause there. And please only, because we have a long agenda, please only ask questions relevant to what was just discussed. Okay, let me see who has their hands up. Linda, go ahead.
Yeah. Because all we have to do is put something on the floor as a proposal and then vote on it at the next meeting, do we have right now enough consensus among us to just put the proposal from each district on the floor tonight?
Well, you're jumping the gun. We're going to do that. We're going to get through that, but the proposal has to be in writing. Okay, so we're going to discuss it today. The bylaws committee is going to meet after the conclusion of this meeting, because the bylaws committee needs to meet to look over the document that I sent out today, which incorporates all of the district's proposals, and we are going to run through those tonight. But that's not a formal proposal; it's a discussion today. The formal proposal is going to happen in another meeting, and then the vote happens in a separate meeting. Okay, questions? Let me see who else has their hand up. And please use the raise hand feature if you have a question. If you cannot, it's going to take me a while to toggle through these screens because I have like 4 screens here with people. Okay, it seems like there are no more questions about that. All right. So,
Crystal, there was a question in the chat.
Okay, can you read it for me, please?
So basically, I was confused about the dates you were talking about. And so I was just clarifying that what you meant was June 1st and 15th?
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
The executive committee meeting is on June the 1st at 7. And then, we meet the third Tuesday at 7. So that is what I was going to propose as the meeting, and we would only, for that special meeting, we would only literally be discussing the bylaws, and that's it, nothing else. It would be a proposal, and it should go by pretty swiftly because I want to honor our bylaws and make sure we are doing the process correctly. It should be very quick because the districts met and discussed, so there shouldn't really be any, real dispute because the districts are the ones that, sent in the proposals. Okay? Any other questions about that topic? Okay, so let me, now let's talk about the dates. Is everyone okay with the special meeting being, replacing the executive committee meeting, June 1st at 7 o'clock? Okay. I know some people are saying, if you have conflicts, we understand, but
Yes.
I'm just gonna.
Crystal, I have a question.
Mhm.
For the June 1st meeting to discuss it, do we need quorum?
Yes.
We're only going to vote on it on the 15th.
Well, yeah, so we have to have a quorum to do business.
Okay.
So yeah, we have to
All right.
have a quorum because anything, we'll be in a real meeting. And so in order to do business, like for example, if somebody wants to recommend a change at that proposal, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay.
I think we should send out ahead of time before June 1st, as soon as we have had our meeting tonight and had the bylaws meeting, as soon as we have an idea of what each one of the districts are proposing, we should go ahead and send it out so everyone can see it,
that is
even
correct.
ahead of June 1st.
No, we will. It has to be 10 days in advance, and we're going to do it as soon as possible, as soon as bylaws meets, because it's already prepped up. I'm going to share a document today that has not been, well, bylaws, you just got it, but just for the sake of discussion, all of the districts today are going to have an opportunity to speak on this today. It's just that the actual presentation, the formal presentation of this information as it's going to be inserted in the bylaws, meaning where is it going to fit in the language in the bylaws, what is being striked out, that has to be done in a proposal physically and then a vote. So that's what I'm talking about. We're having a discussion today about it. Okay, so I don't want to beat a dead horse. So can someone entertain a motion for me, since I'm the chair, I can't make a motion, for that we reserve June 1st as the special meeting?
Make a motion.
Second.
Thank you, Delegate Bendari, and seconded by Sam. So the motion is on the adoption of allowing June 1st to be the special meeting where we will propose the changes to the bylaws regarding the membership structure, non-binary, and gender balance at the ballot. All those who are in favor of June 1st being our special meeting, say aye.
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 And all those who are opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carries. So you're going to get all this in writing. So just mark your calendars. June 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern via Zoom. And we will only be discussing the proposal. And that's it. And you will receive that written document in advance of that meeting. Margaret is entering the rooms, Linda, for your attendance purposes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I am going to now use this time here for the districts to make their presentation. But before I do that, I do want to take the opportunity to address the remarks that were made earlier this meeting by our member Scott Sokol. I also did receive a number of phone calls from people who were watching our Facebook Live, who were disappointed at some of the comments that were made about non-binary members. So I want to take this opportunity as the chair to issue an apology for anyone who was offended by anything that any of our members said. I mean, I know all of our members. I know the comments were probably not meant with ill intent, but that still does not excuse the fact that comments were said that were offensive to people. You know, we are the Democratic Party, and Baltimore County does embrace diversity. And on behalf of those members who may have said something out of unconscious bias and did not realize what they were saying was hurtful, I'm going to apologize on behalf of the committee. With that being said, I would like us to just talk about what the proposals are going to be from each district. And each district, for those districts that didn't meet, I did receive a number of submissions from the districts that had an opportunity to meet to talk about their membership structure. They had an opportunity to meet, whether it was via email or via Zoom, and some of you have submitted your decision or your proposal for your district in writing using the template that I provided in the email. So we are going to go by district to just verbally hear what those proposals are for the membership structure. And what I mean by membership structure is the composition of the Baltimore County Democratic State Central Committee, meaning how many members are assigned, will be assigned for seats for that district. So how many open seats will there be for that district? Okay. So let me look here because I do see hands going up. So if I think I saw Katie.
Senator Kelly had her hand up. I already asked my question.
Oh, okay. Senator Kelly.
My question is regarding the fact that because we don't have the census data yet, we don't know how the lines are going to be drawn. And if what right now might be a partial district could be a whole district or vice versa, is the State Central Committee willing to wait longer till after, maybe to a date like October, so that we know what the districts are? We don't know the sizes.
Right, so I did stress that. However, MDP has a date of July the 1st, and we do understand that if districts are impacted, we might have to go back to adjust, but I'm just following the directive that I received to get these changes regarding our membership structure, you know, the non-binary and the gender balance at the ballot ratified into our bylaws by July 1st. So with that being said, I mean, I think there's a way, well, if the numbers change, that's where there's going to be a like the actual numbers change. Because like, for example, when I was looking at, you know, you have like 42 A and B, there's a way to write it so that you could say for the portion of the district that is located within Baltimore County. So like if we use district 42 as an example, 42A as an example, you could say we allot 4 members or 4 members for district 42A for the portion of the district located in Baltimore County. And that will kind of like encompass the fact that the lines could change. But if that district, if 42A and B become 142, you know, and without the A and B, that's where the challenge will be. So I'm, Michael, you're still here, right? Do you have any remarks about that?
Sure. In regards to the date that is set, it's a combination between the conversations that we've had with the State Board of Elections for them to do what they need to do procedurally and process-wise to make sure that these the filing availability is ready, because filing is open right now, as many of you guys already know. So we are kind of technically behind on that anyway. And you know, the State Board of Elections is understands without speaking for the state board, they understand that that we're in the process of redistricting and that things may end up changing, despite that, you know, we have candidates filing for legislative seats right now that may end up changing for all we know. But you know, we need to make sure that there is a process in place before a certain deadline, which is the July 1st deadline, to ensure that if anything that needs to end up changing is just numbers, that is significantly much more simple than figuring out an entire process from the very beginning with a short amount of time already in place.
Crystal, as it is in any census year.
Well, wait a minute, hold on real quick.
My hand was already.
Wait, I just want to make sure that answered Senator Kelly's question before we move.
I still have a question in that regard. For an example, any one of our houses could be in a different legislative district once we get these numbers and the redistricting is done. I guess all I'm saying is there a way of our coming up with what our general plan would be, but to fill in the actual numbers once the numbers are known? Because so much of this could change. People who are filing for legislative districts might end up in another district, but although living in the same house.
Sure, and I mean, in a situation like that, and this is, you know, me speaking offhand, but I can imagine a situation in which that person would then just run for the district in which they're living in currently now, right? So it is just a matter of how things work out. There's no way for us to, of course, know what these lines are going to look like ahead of time, but we can't have, unfortunately, we can't have that halt the process that we need to move forward on.
Okay.
Go ahead, Linda.
All right. First, I would encourage, as I've been encouraging, people to sit in on these meetings so that some of these questions would be answered. The last meeting that was held of the governor's Citizens Redistricting Committee, which was last week, it was stated, and they will be meeting again tomorrow, by the way. It was stated that in beginning this process, no consideration should be given to where currently elected people currently live. That's what they said. Because they are going to start from scratch in coming up with a new formula or new format for designing what the districts will be, and according to the standards that the governor's office has laid out, those parameters. And, you know, as far as us having any input into that process, they've made a decision that they're not going to have on the chat room. So you cannot enter your suggestions or ideas live as the meeting's going on. You can only do it like in writing in advance of the meeting or after the meeting if you have any comments. But they've already started setting up some of the framework for how this process will go. But one of the things I was going to say is, with or without this gender balance proposal, because this is a census year, the state law says, state election law says, we always had the right to decide to change the size and composition of our districts. We didn't have to wait for the gender balance issue. As a matter of fact, one of the districts came before the Central Committee last year and said, we'd like to change the size of our district. So it was only a matter of waiting until this period before this next upcoming, after the census, and by the time of the next legislative session, that they could have put in that bill, or anyone could. And so I think we should move forward in earnest, not knowing whether people will or won't be in their current districts, and just decide what will it take given the new parameters. One of the considerations we need to think about is, if we're no longer going to be doing gender balance through appointments, that means that the only way that we can achieve it is at the polls. And that may mean that we're going to change the size of the central committee in altogether. I sent out a central committee.
Brenda, 1 more minute.
5 people, okay? And if we decide to have people only on the central committee who are elected, and we do it by district, we will only have 37 people on the central committee. From 55, did you hear me, down to 37. Is that enough people to do all the business of the central committee? I know it may seem like extra time that I'm talking, but it's important things to be discussed.
Yes, but we'll have an opportunity to discuss those at the appropriate time of the agenda. I just want to discuss the issue at hand. I'll go to Tara and then Cheryl.
So I wanted to return to something Senator Kelly had said. In the past, our bylaws contained a general process, but it didn't have the numbers. And then the numbers became part of Maryland regulation or legislation.
Right.
So what I'm wondering is if we can submit to the Maryland Democratic Party our numbers, but put in our bylaws only a general process, and then wait until legislation next year to get the very specifics based on census data. I just feel as though that's consistent with what we've done before, and it might solve sort of all of this, all the concerns that people have.
Thank you so much. We'll take that back to bylaws for a consideration, but I think that makes sense. Cheryl.
So I don't have the document open, so I don't have the exact wording, but I'm concerned that I received an email with a document from the bylaws committee saying something to the effect that if a non-binary person was elected, that they would be counted either as male or female, and then the rest of the slots would be balanced accordingly after that. Non-binary is its own gender. So a non-binary person wouldn't be male or female.
We understand that. I don't think that's what that said. Michael, would you like to reiterate that again on how the non-binary wins a spot on the central committee, please?
Absolutely. So to directly to that direct point, the language should state, and I think pretty consistently states across the 24 jurisdictions that a non-binary candidate shall not be counted as either male nor female, and that the committee shall be equally divided afterwards, based off of the resulting vote total. So I don't know if that was potentially a typo or a misread, or whatever the case may be, but the language that is being the conversation around the language that's being sent throughout the 24 jurisdictions all have that exact line in there with some additional language as well, because that is, as you just touched on, Cheryl, the proper identification for the non-binary.
Yeah, it didn't say that, but yeah, we understand. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we'll move to.
Excuse me.
Okay, go ahead.
At one point, I had a conversation with Mr. Demarinis, and one of the things I was trying to type it. One of the things he said was he wasn't sure why we ever started the process of putting the number of people elected per district in the election law. It wasn't always done. And as a result, it means that you have to wait this lengthy period to change it. And so if it's not necessary, why are we putting the number of people elected per district in the election law?
To determine how many people can win the slot.
Let me clarify. And saying that the only way it can be changed is through a vote of the legislature at the time of after a census.
Oh, okay, that's a different question.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can't answer that.
Why would you limit yourself that way? That was his point.
Very good point.
Right, so is there a way to change that?
But
Is that a legislative change?
I guess the state party would have to be the ones to put that in, not just.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Michael, you're on mute. I think you're trying to talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just answering. I was just going along with everything. Apologies.
Oh, okay. So.
Oh, I didn't want to jump in if it wasn't just unless the chairwoman expressly asked me to. So apologies.
Oh no, go right ahead. Go right ahead, Michael.
I was just going to say, I think we all pretty much definitely agree with the statements that Linda just made. I don't know personally where that came from, but it's only a few counties or jurisdictions across the state, which are the ones that are actually not currently, that were given till 2022 per the November 7, 2017 resolution to work on potential legislation that could help get us across the board there. But I believe there's also precedents in state law, and I'm no lawyer by any means, so I'm not going to pretend to be. But the state parties and local jurisdictions have the right to determine their the makeup of their committees and their membership. I think through
This doesn't have anything to do with gender balance. This was
he's talking about the makeup.
year.
The makeup includes numbers, Linda.
I understand,
right.
But he's assuming that we're talking about gender balance.
No,
Last year,
Linda,
one of the central committee.
Linda, he's not. Linda, please
Okay.
let me. I haven't acknowledged. Go finish your thought, Michael.
I was just going to say, I was more so directly speaking to the makeup of the committee as you dictated, mentioned. It's in the election law and why that is there. Getting members to be elected by the ballot by gender balance was through the November 17th resolution, but that's the reason why it had to be the addressing of the gender balance comes into play there. And that's all I was gonna say on that end.
Thank you. All right.
And what I was saying, Crystal, is that the point that I was raising, people are too sensitive about this gender balance thing. I wasn't even talking about gender balance. Last year, one of the districts said, we are thinking about and would like to consider changing our size. So there was some investigation of what the process would be to allow a current district, didn't have anything to do with gender balance, to change their size. And that's when I had a conversation with Jared Demarinis, who said, quite frankly, I don't know why we started doing it this way, where you have to wait such a lengthy time to put in legislation to change.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, I know.
Nothing to do. He keeps bringing up gender balance. Nothing to do with gender balance. We got to stop being sensitive about it.
All right, we're going to move to Danny.
Yes, I was just going to say, this gender balance thing, and I know that in Baltimore City they have like 10 members on their central committee. It's like, how do you, determine a fair number? Is there a fair number, or you can go to 10? You can go to. I mean, where does it stop? As far as how many members you want to have within your committee. So, I mean, is it fair that in Baltimore City they have 10 members, in their districts over there?
They can decide.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, so you can have as many as you want, right?
That's what he was saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so that's the way it is. So what I saw that the Maryland Democratic Party, I saw something in the chat that Katie put in there that you guys are recommending 6 members, something like that.
We'll get to that. We're not there yet. Let's not skip the agenda.
That's fine. That's all.
Okay.
I'll deal with it.
All right. We'll go to Senator Kelly.
If you're worried, Danny, about our not having the right proportional vote when we're in as part of the full state central committee, that's always adjusted by from county to county so that you have what is the weighted vote that belongs to your county, and how you divide it up internally doesn't matter. I was secretary back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So thank you so much. I just want to double check. Any more questions on this particular item that we're discussing before we move to the districts to give their proposal? And again, these are just verbal. These aren't the formal. Bylaws is going to meet, and they did receive the proposals that were sent in. Not all districts sent anything, things in. All right. So Linda, can you use the roster to call districts so we can discuss what the districts submitted?
Okay, District 6 is first.
Yeah, so I will speak for District 6. So myself, Eric, Scott, Justin, and Corey communicated. We're proposing an increase from 5 to 6 members.
Okay. District 7.
And if someone from District 7, if you did not meet, just indicate that, please.
We haven't met yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, District 8.
This is Liz from District 8. We conferred on email. We currently have 5, so we are proposing to go to 6 elected members for District 8.
District 10.
Hello, good evening. This is Danielle Smith. So only a couple of us spoke. It's kind of hard to get all of us together. Everyone's busy schedules. So you can respond if you want to change, but those of us who were able to discuss this, we propose that we move from 5 to 6.
And just a word of advice, District 6, we collaborated via email. I know it's difficult to get everyone in a meeting, but if someone can just take the initiative to put everyone on the email thread and discussing it via email is also what I found to be very convenient.
Well, that's a proposal we've done before in the past and we don't get responses. So this is
okay.
the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. No worries.
Thank you.
Okay.
District 11 has not had an opportunity to gather our members, but
what, Linda, y'all ain't me?
That is no, wait a minute, but I think we've already come to agreement that we would go from 5 to 6. Is that not correct, Tracy? Tracy.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I know you guys haven't
And
talked to me
Vanessa.
yet. So yeah, I haven't heard. I think we should just meet. We'll email.
Yeah,
I
just
think
do
that'll
an email or something, but we still want to hear for the members who were able to, whether you chatted or not, just let's put it on the floor now.
So are you in agreement, Vanessa?
You don't have to be in agreement. You're just going to acknowledge what was discussed. That's all.
Okay.
So you said 6, correct?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
And so District 12.
Yes, we met via email, and there was some general discussion of why we're changing things. So I'm just putting that out there for Michael Baird that we were pretty happy the way things were. But we believe that given the same ratio of in our district, because I think ours is a district that's going to change, but given the same district, we would go with 4 people and stay with 4, which is what we currently have. But we are concerned because our district is one of the ones I think that's likely to change.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
Next, District 42A. There are 2
Bonjour.
members.
So Scott and I have been in touch with one another on text message on things. The one thing we have discussed is, there is a greater risk for a 2-member district to not have an actual gender balance, which causes perhaps another ripple if there's a second district that doesn't have gender balance, because then maybe the Central Committee after the election may be out of balance. But it would be particularly potentially felt within 42A with only 2 members. Having said that, it's also recognized that we're probably the smallest of the districts. And so 2 may be the most appropriate number if we have to be at an even number. But if we also both recognize that the likelihood of 42A existing seems to be up in the air. So with 42, if 42B is going to do 4 and we do 2 and 42 is then combined into 1, you're back to 6 like the other districts. And that seems to make the most sense. But again, if there's a distinction between A and B, you do run the risk of not being gender balanced, or at least having any representation. It's not just a matter of being gender balanced in a strict male versus binary examination, but it's that you run the risk of one gender potentially not being represented, which could cause its own ripple. So, and frankly, Scott and I both agree that the best candidate should win. So if it happens to be that there's no male representing 42A, so be it. But somebody else may complain about such things.
Thank you.
42B.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I was able to organize a meeting between the members in 44B, Senator Senor, Aisha Khan, Georgia White, myself. And we came to a consensus because we now have 4. We came to a consensus that we moved to 5. There were also some considerations and some discussion about it possibly moving to 6 when it's orchestrated about the binary matter. So we, as I said, we came to a consensus of 5, and I guess at this time we're happy with that.
Thank you. Is that everyone?
No, we didn't do 42B.
Yeah, 42. Go ahead.
So Jeff Bonner and I emailed and I got a hold of Ann George yesterday, and for the same reasons that Jason and Scott have put forward, 42B, we would go from 3 people to 4 people, with a guess that perhaps 42A and B would be combined. So, four people for 42A. Thank you. 42B rather. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I want to make sure we have everyone that covers everyone, correct? Linda?
No, I just want to get clarified. I know that 44B wanted to already go up to 5 last year. So you're talking about going up to 6. Is that correct, to be a full district? Bishop? I said, I know last year you were already talking about moving up to 5 members. So now you want to move to become a full district, since almost most of the people live in your district. So now are you talking about moving up to a full district of 6?
Yeah, well, we because of the calamity that we had during the last selection of delegates and senators, that prompted this movement. So it was a consensus that we moved to 5, but I mean.
Right. So if that was your consensus, that's fine. If you all still want to, meet in post. But Linda, he said that the consensus was 5, so let's record that for now, and with the understanding that they can.
I understand, but they're in the meeting. So if
okay. As long as everyone's here, I just don't want someone that's not present tonight. Okay, go ahead.
Change it to 6 now. I mean, so you were saying something.
Yeah, I thought that we said that if we could get the full 6 members to go ahead and do that.
Okay, well, that's fine. I just want to make sure that that's everybody's perspective. That's all.
With George and H, then we can go to 6. Is that the consensus? H and
yeah, 6 is fine with me. We can go 6.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, we will acknowledge for if 6, that would be great.
And that was all the districts.
Okay, so 44, right. All right, thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate that. What's gonna happen is bylaws, I've already begun trying to insert the changes as I received them. For the districts that I did not receive, I left it alone. So bylaws, I sent out a document. Danny will need to make changes to the last document that I sent out with these new recording that Linda has.
Okay, so I have recorded down, District 6 would move from 5 to 6, District 7 would move from 5 to 6, District 8 would move from 5 to 6, District 10 would move from 5 to 6, District 11 would move to from 5 to 6, District 12 would stay at 4, District 42A would stay at 2, District 42B would be 6, in light of the fact that they might be combined with 42A, in which case they become a 6-member district.
No, Linda, 42B is 4 people, not 6 people.
No, I said it was 4.
Okay.
You said 44B.
I said 42. I thought I said 42A will stay a 4-member district, in light of the fact that it may be eventually combined with 42A, in which case it will be a 6-member district. Is that correct?
Based on what Jason's indicated.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there would be 2
yeah.
from 42A, 4 from 42B.
Right, I have that.
The theory being that if it's combined, it'd be 6 on
Right.
42.
And then 44B would become a 6-member district, and then that's it.
Okay.
So I have a question about
wait a
gender
minute,
balance.
Cheryl. I'll get to you in a second. Linda, attendance, Delegate Jalisi and Nina McHugh are present. Go ahead, Cheryl.
So if 42A and B were to stay how they are, or if we somehow had another district that got split like that, where it's not split, with Baltimore City, it's split inside the county, would gender balance be across the Senate district, so that you could have 42A, both members be the same gender, as long as 42B would balance that out? Or is it they have to be gender balanced within their delegate district?
Within the legislative district. The delegate district, yes, legislative.
Okay.
Yeah. Bob Benjamin.
I note that most of the districts are, I'm going to generalize, most of the districts are going up to 6. In District 12, albeit I agree with Tara that there's going to be some changes, is staying at 4. And I'm just concerned about the relative loss of representation within the larger central committee of District 12, which is, in my view, generously staying at 4, while everybody else is saying, oh, we need 6. And I don't know if that bothers anybody outside anybody else in or outside District 12. But I think it's I feel when I hear these numbers, I feel diminished
We're
as a
already
representative
larger.
from District 12.
We're already larger.
Okay. Any comments from the other District 12 members to address what Bob stated? Not required, but just if you want to.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I think it's fair enough, because we're almost half and half with Howard County. So as much as I'd love for us to have 6, I feel like we are a split district.
Right.
I was going to say something similar. I think it's very difficult for District 12 because right now we are combined with Howard County, but not A and B. We're just combined. And we're about 40% of it is in Baltimore County. So I do think 4 is enough. But, and I apologize, that's me. But I think that if the district shifts, if we become have a larger portion, for example, of 12, then we would need to be that. So that's all. That's why it was so difficult for us.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's all subject to change.
Well, conversely, what is the case for moving from 5 to 6 then? It seems rather, oh, we're going to go with 6. It seems rather arbitrary. I mean, that's nice. But, if we're saying Well, to be proportionate, we should have 4. I don't hear the argument. I just hear, oh, we'll go to 6. I don't hear the justification in many cases.
We all have to become
Other
even.
than to have a
but we're the
larger
state.
number
Well,
of people.
yeah, so for the gender balance, I'll give you the rationale for District 6. So we currently have 5 members. In order for us to achieve a gender balance, we would have to be an even number. Since District 6 is wholly located within Baltimore County, it didn't make sense with the new census numbers to decrease a number. It made more sense to increase, since also in Baltimore County, our numbers went up in that district. That's how we rationalized it. Not saying that, you know, that's the appropriate way to rationalize it, but that was our thought process behind bumping it up 1 number instead of taking away a number.
Crystal, I think it does behoove us, however, as this redistricting process starts, to consider whether we do
Margaret Forte is present.
Okay, whether we do want to try to kind of, even though we can't put it in the chat room and we can't participate in the meetings verbally, whether we do want to encourage the pulling back of all districts within Baltimore County boundaries. All of them, not some of them. All of District 11 is in Baltimore County. All of District 10 is in Baltimore County. Maybe it makes sense after they started the splitting up process of going back to all of the districts being within our county. Just saying.
Okay, Cheryl, was your hand up from last time or did you raise it up again?
No, I raised it again.
Okay.
I have not been in any of these conversations because I'm not a district member. But in my mind, because Bob was asking about, you know, why 6? If there's 3 genders, it makes sense to me to have a number that's divisible by 3. Because then you could have, you know, up to 2 non-binary members and then 2 males and 2 females and everything is even.
Jason.
Just commenting on Linda's point, I don't know that we can compel that all the boundaries be within the county, which may handicap us in the sense of being able to forecast how to come up with the numbers based on that premise.
God bless you.
I don't, you know, for example, I paid attention to some people who, as a hobby, draw legislative maps, and it seems to be the prevailing belief that the city is going to have to extend out beyond the city's borders for at least one of its districts to maintain 5 districts within the city for the most part, with one of them having to reach into the county. When I say the county, it could be maybe, you know, Anne Arundel or some other county that is adjacent. I don't know, but likely Baltimore County, since most of Baltimore County, most of our borders are Baltimore County. But
well, I never used the word compel. That was your word. I said maybe
I didn't mean this isn't a conflict or anything. I'm just commenting on the fact that this is not something that I think that a decision we can, you know, get to on our own without further guidance from others.
Sure, but what I'm saying is that this is going to stay in place for 10 years. And I don't know if people are paying really, really close attention to this. I mean, the last time we made an adjustment in Baltimore County because Baltimore City wanted to have an additional Senate position. They said, we don't want to go down in the number of senators we have, even if we have to share one with Baltimore County. In reality, they should have lost a Senate position then. And it may be that they have to lose a Senate position now. I'm not trying to coddle folks to make it go one way or the other, but if you lose population that much that you now only qualify for 5 instead of 6 Senate positions, then I guess you have to accept it.
Okay, we're getting off topic,
yeah,
so we're gonna end this discussion.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So we'll move on through the agenda. So we discussed that. So rechartering for the Democratic clubs are going to continue. I now have all of the necessary contact information for all of the Democratic clubs, and I'll start to send out communications to them. I've also given the information to Meredith at the state party. So more information to come. That should be done probably, depending on how fast people will respond, by June 1st. We'll go to financial review. So we're in new business. So as you know, our bylaws require us to do a financial audit, internal audit. We have been able to successfully secure all members of the financial review committee last month and the month before. We presented to you all that Leslie is going to be chairing that. Bylaws indicate that a non-member of the central committee has to chair it. Also has to be one central committee member that is staff to that. That's Dr. Tamira Lucas. Also Linda, she is now present. And then finally, we have our third member, and I would like Liz or Jason to introduce who our third member will be to the committee, please.
Okay, Liz, I will defer to you if you would like, or if you want me to do it, I'm happy to do it.
I would defer to you if you like, or if you don't want to do it, I'm happy to do it.
How about we do this together?
Okay,
How's that?
every other word? No, I'm just kidding. No, why don't you go ahead and I'll chime in if necessary.
Very well. So for us, when we first started talking about it, one person became clear to us as to who would, we both mutually knew of, or knew even personally, who would be a great fit for this. And that person was Sheldon Laskin. I know Sheldon, number one, has political interests and has run before, but also he is a tax attorney. He has run his own business. He is regularly involved in democratic activities, and he is very giving and generous with his time, and an all-around good guy. So, he seemed like the perfect fit. Liz, do you want to chime in?
I think that was perfect and succinct, and I would concur.
And normally I'm not succinct, so there you go. That's the added bonus for everyone else tonight.
All right. So, so as a FYI, we do not need to have a vote on this because the chair is required to appoint members to that subcommittee. So I am just making the committee aware of the appointment of Sheldon Laskin. Sheldon, are you on? Would you just like to address the committee to introduce yourself to those who may not know you personally?
Yeah, I am on. Oh, hi, Mia. I see you're sending me a chat. In the interest of full disclosure, I guess I should say that I gave up attempting to balance my checkbook years ago. But yes, I do. I was an assistant attorney general to the comptroller of the Treasury for about 8.5 years, and then I continued in state taxation with a national organization in Washington. So at least on the tax side, I'm familiar with numbers, and I'm looking forward to this assignment.
Thank you so much. We definitely appreciate you and welcome you to the committee. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to move right into one more update, and we're going to go right into subcommittee proposals. No, excuse me, subcommittee reports. So budget time is around the corner. Okay, and so in the executive committee meeting, we discussed that each subcommittee, standing subcommittees, please refer to the bylaws if you're not sure what the standing subcommittees are. We'll go through them momentarily, but the standing subcommittees are required to submit their budget proposals. All subcommittee chairs were in that executive committee meeting, so they're made aware of that. We're going to ask for those proposals on June 1st. So if you could please get with our Katie, our treasurer, if you don't know what your committees submitted last year, just for a point of reference. What happens is you'll submit those proposal documents via email to the info at Baltimore County Dems. We'll present those at the executive committee meeting. They'll go over to the financial review. So financial review is going to help make sure that the budget we develop is fiscally responsible and that we can actually pay for it with the funds that we have in our account. And that's the second responsibility that financial review does. They assist us with the budget process. So June 1st is the deadline. So if you haven't had an opportunity to rally the troops in your subcommittee to figure out what it is that you need to conduct activities for the next fiscal year, please do so. And I am going to move right into the subcommittee reports now. We will go to Danny with bylaws.
Good evening, everyone. Bylaws is the big topic these days. So you know that actually we took a pause from dealing with our bylaws for our committee, and now we are addressing the Berlin Democratic Party as well as the DNC's action item. So we're working on those. Of course, we have a meeting this Saturday. Of course, Michael sent everyone the information out, but I'm sure that'll come out this weekend, and we'll be voting on some of those bylaws, and that would help the committee as we move forward to kind of settle all this big elephant in the room situation that's going on. So we're looking forward to that meeting so that we can move forward. We will be meeting between the 24th and the 27th so that we can move forward, so that we can become in compliance to what we need to do as a committee. So that's what we're doing. As you can tell, there's a lot of work to be done, and we're moving forward with that and the other things that we need to address as well. So that's where we are right now.
Thank you very much, Danny. So for the office report, I'll be giving that. So as you know, regarding our rent payments, we have been paying reduced rent because we are not actually utilizing the facilities for our in-person meetings. Our landlord did reach out because, you know, Governor Hogan is lifting the mask requirements and people are starting to, you know, go back in person. So he asked, you know, when we plan on going back in person. The executive committee did discuss this month, and our proposal is that we're going to do a slow rollout phase to a hybrid approach with resuming in-person meetings in September. That is when the landlord has required that we resume our full rent in September. So we're going to open up for business in September for in-person meetings. We are going to ensure that we obtain the appropriate technology to do a hybrid approach, because we do want to encourage those who have been fully vaccinated to come on out. And if you haven't, you know, and you know, that's your own personal decision you're going to make. We're not having mandates, but we want people to feel safe and comfortable. And we know that we do have members that have, you know, may have health conditions that cannot be around people who are not vaccinated. So we are going to continue to give guidance, and we're going to make sure that when we do roll out, that there will be a hybrid virtual approach for those who are unable to gather in person as a reasonable accommodation. So we're going to move to fairs and festivals. Aisha and Linda.
Yes.
Aisha and Linda.
Yes, hi.
Yeah.
Finally, you know, we can do something and you can get some report from Fair and Festival. So I and Linda, we both discussed about, you know, the 4th of July parade and you know, I mean, that how we can participate in that parade. And we also discussed that we can participate like a central state committee member. They can walk, or we can arrange some cars or decorate the cars or SUVs and floats and this kind of stuff. But I also need some opinion from others to what you guys think about it. Linda, she became some very good, you know, ideas. And I would love to that if Linda share, you know, with us that we discussed regarding fair and festival, especially the parade.
Right. Well, the event is being given by the Baltimore County Leadership Council. This is going to be the first time that they're giving a parade or festival connected with Independence Day in the Randallstown, Owings Mill area. They're inviting everyone in the Northwest area to please come out and participate. It's actually going to be held on the day before the 4th of July, on July 3rd. And it's going to commence at Deer Park Middle School. And the parade will start there. And as Aisha said, you have your choice of whether you're going to participate in the parade, walking, riding in cars, or have a float. And up until now, we've always participated in any parade events with just walking and sometimes riding in the car. And what I proposed is perhaps we might this time consider having a float. If you want to have a float, it's a matter of hitching on the back of a truck or large vehicle. A flatbed 6 by 12 feet costs $65 to rent. If you want to rent it for a whole week, it's only $138. If you want to rent instead a pickup truck, it costs $85. So those are your options. But in any case, you need to decorate it, consider what it takes to decorate it. And we're going to be marching from Deer Park Middle School up Marriottsville Road, down Deer Park Road, down Lions Mill Road, up Deer Park Road, and then to the back of, and it's quite a long entryway, to Northwest Regional Park. That's where the festival will be taking place. Now, the parade will start at 10, the festival will start at 12, and the festival will go from 12 o'clock until 5 o'clock. Right now, we're talking about getting 1 tent area, possibly 2. I do need to speak with Katie because there is a variance in what I had originally said was the cost of the tent rental turns out that's correct, not what they set on that form. And so if we have 1 tent rental area, and Aisha and her family were gracious enough last year to do 2 things, to donate in kind a tablecloth and also a tent, a canopy for the Baltimore County Central Committee. So we would be using both of those, and it's a 10-foot tent, so that would take up the space. So we would need to know who from the Northwest area, even though anyone is invited to participate, can participate. The last time we met, we also said that there are going to be other parades taking place. This time, because 4th of July is on a Sunday, most of the other parades and festivals that will be taking place in the other parts of the county will also be taking place on the 3rd of July. The Dundalk Parade is going to be taking place early morning before the Randallstown one in Dundalk on the 3rd of July, and that usually ends around 11:30 or 12 o'clock. There's also supposed to be an event in Towson that's supposed to be in the middle of the day. And of course, Catonsville is going to have something on the 3rd of July that's going to be 2 things. They're going to have a parade, then there's going to be a break after the parade, and then as usual, people will be gathering by the thousands on the lawn in front of Catonsville High School for the fireworks. So it'll be up to the people from each one of those areas, and then Perry Hall has something as well. It's up to the people in each one of those areas to figure out what they want to do. There is a difference. Many of the events that I've talked about that were held previously have said that
2 more minutes, Linda.
we cannot participate.
Go ahead, you have 2 more minutes. You're going over the 5-minute mark.
Okay, that's right.
You don't want the rest of the 2 minutes?
No.
Okay. All right, so for all of those who want to help with fairs and festivals, as Linda stated, there's the Randallstown one. There are ones that are going to be happening all over the county. Please, Aisha is going to send out some correspondence to those who are on fairs and festivals for meetings this month, June and July, because planning needs to start happening now. So please email us. If you're not on the subcommittee, you know you're going to be out and about to represent the Democratic Party. If you want to be a part of that, please let us know, and we'll connect you with Linda and Aisha for the planning of that. They do an excellent job of doing the planning for these types of things. So we're going to move to fundraising. Jason. Jason Garber. Is Jason still here? Well, he's on mute.
You might have had to go to put the kids to bed or something. I can speak to the funds for the trivia night until he comes back.
Okay.
We made $1,125 on trivia night. So, And then I know he's going to be working on a second trivia night. And then in June, the save the dates go out for the Unity Dinner. So fundraising has a lot of work ahead of them.
Yes. So for all of those who had the opportunity to participate in trivia night, thank you so much. It was fun. I love the questions. It was very entertaining. It was a tie between, well, no, it wasn't a tie. Scott Sokol and team won. So all the folks that were with Scott, you know, they were the crown champions of that. But they had an awesome time. So thank you all for participating, and thank you to the Central Committee members. Even though you could not attend, you still donated. We definitely appreciate that. Danielle Smith.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So I was just going to say in fundraising, we're still talking about fundraising, right?
Correct.
So a while back, a little bit prior to COVID and us not meeting in the office, I donated, I can't remember if it was 3 chairs or 4 chairs for the office.
Yes, they're there. They're still there.
4. Okay, so I just want to go ahead and put those down as donations.
Okay, for in-kind?
Yeah, in-kind donation.
Okay, we'll make sure we get that.
It was
recorded.
office chairs. Yes, Katie?
Yeah, Danielle, I'll talk to you about the valuation and I'll get a letter to you because it has to be recorded. All right, we'll
Yes.
talk.
Okay.
Yes, and thank you, Ms. Danielle, for donating those shares. We definitely appreciate that. Let's go with party building with Liz. Oh, I'm sorry. Someone was trying to say something? Okay, no. All right. Liz.
Thanks. Yeah, so our big thing in the past few weeks was that we had a multi-votercade celebration in support of the John Lewis Voter Advancement Day, which was not this past Saturday, but I think the Saturday before. This is you know, a big celebration and awareness raising going on. That's basically a coalition of a bunch of different nonpartisan groups, you know, activist groups coming together. So while we couldn't really be like one of the organizers or, you know, sponsors per se, we did participate in the votercade in support of it. And it's very exciting because, well, this was my first votercade and I didn't make anyone crash or anything like that. So that was exciting. What I really wanted to do was make sure that we covered the county, and we weren't really able to have like a bunch of different votercades or car caravans in, you know, every single corner. But I think we represented East, North, West, and South really well by having Catonsville, Randallstown, Timonium, and White Marsh. I think that we experienced all 4 seasons. We had ice storms and a little sun, some wind. We had a gale. Over in White Marsh, I know that much. Randallstown reported ice. But I do want to thank Mark Weaver for, I don't know if he actually volunteered or was voluntold, but he did the Catonsville. They had over 20 people sign up, and I think 13 people attend. And he had the Southwest Baltimore Democratic Club helping, Danny, and of course, as he calls her, the Queen of Car Caravans, Linda Dorsey Walker. And I understand there were 10 cars, or it was a big.
We actually had a couple of people join at the end. We had 12 or 13. They
Ooh,
joined.
12 or 13. Wow, looks like we got a tie, y'all. Oh my gosh. So thank you so much, Linda, for that. Of course, I have to thank Anne. This whole thing was her idea. And I think it was a really good one. Kind of got us out there. You know, in Marsh, we were basically driving around. We didn't really have places where we could get out and wave signs, which is one thing you can do. Timonium, on the other hand, did, you know, park and actually wave signs, you know, on a couple of public intersections in Timonium. York Road is really, really good for traffic. People were honking at us, and for once, people are honking. You're like, yay, you know. And I think I know that Anne is planning more sign waves in support of this legislation and to defend democracy. I think this was a really good thing for us to do to kind of for our goal of raising, you know, getting our visibility out there as Democrats. And there was a really nice write-up in the Essex in the Avenue, which I kept forgetting about. And I keep forgetting to post it. I don't know if it got posted, but Delegate Bhandari was with us at White Marsh, and I believe he was quoted in that. The reporter was real excited when I told him, that Crystal and Harry were there. So if I've left anyone out, I apologize. But it was very successful, and I hope that we can continue to do things all around the county. And I'm kind of getting it now about fairs. You want to cover all the different festivals and parades and so forth all over the county. And when you're doing a sine wave, you don't want to just, hey, York Road is great or whatever. You want to, so I want to get us a little bit further over Dundalk and Essex and all that kind of stuff. And, other areas that we didn't cover this time. And I think next time we do this, I might actually know what we're doing. But definitely want to thank Mark, Linda, Danny, and anyone I left out. Crystal, I guess she's not a member, but Crystal, now I'm blanking out on her name. So anyway, what?
Don't forget Sachin Heber.
Oh, Sachin led the way for us in Timonium. Thank you, Anne. And our friend Crystal,
Peters.
not Crystal Francis, but our
Crystal
friend
Peters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep not hearing what you're saying.
Crystal Peters.
Peters, of course. I know that, and I just blanked out. She actually made a whole bunch of signs. She didn't actually go to the parade, but instead she made these beautiful signs. And I also want to echo Mark with thanks to Sue Radke and Tom Poteray in Catonsville. They're very big in the Southwest Hymns. I know Tom from our phone banking days. So we want to, do more of these, get out there, get visible, do a little activism, and in addition to our other activities. I know we're still planning to do outreach, phone banking, and so forth to unaffiliated. There's still a million things to do, but first we need to get our budget done so that we can afford the materials. That was one thing we kind of ran into, was that it gets a little expensive when we're buying our own materials, and we want to make sure we have a sensible and good budget to cover what we're going to do. So yeah, it was exciting, and thanks to everyone who participated. Oh, and we also had a poster making party, and I learned how to make block letters. That's the big thing. Anne's a very good teacher, but we were back at the headquarters, and that was sort of like, oh no, are they going to come down there and start charging us rent? But it's not, they're socially distanced, thanks to Crystal and Anne. Our friends Ron and of course Mark for coming, and it was just good old fashioned activists, what I call suburban activism, good old fashioned fun, and a really nice way to support the effort that was going on down in Baltimore City as well. So that's the report.
Thank you, Miss Danielle. Is your hand still up, or this is a new hand raise?
It's a new hand.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that was fun doing that again with you guys. I mean, we've been doing that throughout for a while, but so it was really fun. What I wanted to ask is another suggestion, because I've been missing your calls, Liz, with party building, because I've been on another call. But what we've been doing also too on a national level that I think would be a good suggestion for us to do is have individuals write their senators and their congressmen and everybody and ask them to support the bill, because we can't take for granted and think that some of our legislators are supportive. And then also call. So what we've been also doing on a national level is calling and then writing letters to ask for our legislators to support. And I can get you that information and the numbers that we are doing to have them do that as well. So that's just something we can add to it. Thank you.
That's absolutely, I mean, it's kind of like the reporter said, do you measure this as success? And like, well, it's a lot easier to do an analysis if you know number of people called, number of people that, answered. So you're absolutely right, that actual contact with, that focused contact with people is really important. So thank you. And Danielle, I'm going to get you at one of these meetings. I'm going to schedule it according to your personal schedule, or at least I'm going to try to do that. We have a lot of people, and hopefully.
Well, I've been at the events. I've been coming to the events.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
Yeah, it's that's the important thing to me is that people are participating, and so it was great. We had 5 cars at White Marsh, for example. Some of the people that signed up didn't come, but the 5 that did come were Central Committee members, and that was very exciting. Yay us, and let's do more. And thank you,
And
Dan.
look at Delegate Bandari's post in the chat. Did you want to mention that live? Delegate Bandari? He's doing a letter to the editor. He wrote an article for the White Marsh. There's an article, so check out the post that he put. We'll go with communications with Jeff.
All right. Good evening, everyone from Communications. We have three quick items for us here. So in the past month, Communications has been in a support role to our fundraising group there to facilitate the trivia night and sign up for that success. Again, thanks to Jason and his fundraising team for that. We also supported party building there for our John Lewis car caravan that Liz just talked about. To sign up there on the website, which we got some good lessons learned about how we can do that better for next time as well. And then thirdly, we have the outreach program through our newsletter. We've restructured our newsletter a bit so that it's now going to be a one-page document, and it's going to focus on Crystal's report as well as upcoming events, democratic events that are going to be happening month by month throughout the county. So special thanks for May. Crystal we just submitted it to Crystal and she turned it around for fashion. So it's already up on the website. It'll be out tomorrow. Linda, I will send that to you. Crystal just approved it this evening, just prior to our meeting. So Linda, I'll send it to you. If you could send out an email to our email list, that would be for our May newsletter. That's all I got from Communications. George, do you have anything, my friend?
Oh yeah, just to kind of piggyback, you covered everything. I just want to add that we all have been participating extremely well with these outreach. It's just that the pictures and stuff that we take, just make sure we coordinate them and get them back so we can post them. I just want to give just a double kudos for the I guess the fairs and festivals with we had the caravan, and it should party building. They had the caravan, and Linda Dorsey Walker. She's I don't know where she gets her money at. I mean, I like to get part of her investment, but she spends a lot of her own money because when these caravans show up, she has signs made already for you. She has decorations for your vehicles and everything, and people just drive in and say, okay, where do I park? She said, no, you have to dress that vehicle up. But the stuff that she purchases on her own, and I just want to give her kudos for leading the Randallstown side. And she kept us in line, and we all had a good time. But just continue doing what you're doing. Just not forget to share the pictures that you have so we can sort of let the state of Maryland know what we do within our Central Committee. Okay?
Yes.
That covers it for me.
Very good. Crystal, if I could real quick before I throw it back to you, just want to recognize one of our members on the Communications Committee. Samay did an outstanding job this month. He juggling a lot of things going on this month with academics and other things that he's got going on. And I really appreciate his work getting the newsletter to the point that it is and ready for release. So just wanted to throw that out. Thank you to Samay from the Communications. Thank you much.
All right. Delegate Bandari, you had your hand up and wasn't sure if you still wanted to say anything. If not, that's all right. Okay. Yeah, so I just wanted to make this note that, let me tell you, so Mark Weaver put a comment in the chat that this is a nationwide reform, not just the blue states. Well, let me tell you, I received a couple of emails from some Republicans that said, I may not always support your policies, but y'all show up and stand up for what y'all believe in, and I gotta respect that. So let me tell you, the car caravan did not go unnoticed across Baltimore County. So thank you so much to everyone, whether you helped donate money to get the signs together, and you braved that interesting weather. You know, it was sunny and then all of a sudden it started pouring down. So thank you so much. Definitely appreciate everyone's contribution. So I am going to now, we have successfully went through all of these committee reports. And so I am going to just double check to see if anyone has any questions about anything that was discussed. And if not, oh, go ahead. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Katie did give a brief report, but please take the floor.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I wanted to say goodnight to my kids. So yes, so basically we had a very successful trivia night. It was our debut for that. I'm thrilled by the turnout and participation and the support. I'm starting to now look at the next one. So that'll hopefully be happening within the next 4 weeks or thereabouts. Also, we have the Unity Dinner, which we're picking a date, and then the email save the dates are going to go out in June. So those are the two main things going on. I go back to the trivia night about just how stunned I am with the participation and the support we received, and I hope that everyone who attended had fun. And if you have suggestions for me with the what to do, how it could be improved, obviously let me know. That's it. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jason. All right, y'all. Before 9 o'clock. God is good.
Well, wait a minute. We do have some announcements.
We have additional announcements?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
For what?
For what? Well, we have a plan process that's underway.
Oh, go ahead.
And last night we had meetings for District 1 and District 4. It was very brief. The District 4 one was only an hour. So there's a District 2 meeting that's going on tonight. In fact, they're all supposed to be from 6:30 to like 7:30. So the District 2 one is likely over. And then you have the other districts are going to be meeting tomorrow night. So look it up. If you go to Baltimore County Master Plan, you can see exactly where these initial meetings are being held. Now there's going to also be, as a follow-up to the Northwest one, the District 4 one, there's going to be a planning board meeting, one of two, where they're going to introduce the plan that many of us, I think 6 of us here from the Central Committee, participated on, the Liberty Road Revitalization Plan. That's going to be on Thursday at 7 o'clock. And then they're going to actually have the vote on the master plan on June 3rd. And some of us have been asked to be special speakers. I've been asked to speak by the folks from the planning department about this area, about the Northwest area. Then there is the Citizens Redistricting Committee meeting tomorrow night at 7. The State Board of Elections meeting will be on May 27th at 2 o'clock. The Baltimore County Board of Elections meeting will be the next day at 8:30. So please mark your calendars accordingly. I'll send those dates out.
Thank you very much, Linda. Please, let's attend these meetings. It's particularly Board of Elections. Make sure we attend those. All right. Now that we have successfully went through the agenda, if there is nothing further, I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
It has been moved by Tracy and seconded by, who was that?
Sebastian has his hand up.
Sebastian?
Danielle.
Yeah, so real quick, Young Dems have two events, one on June 2nd with Congressman Sarah Baines and Tom Perez, talking about voting rights and political power. And then on June 10th with Congressman Mfume, Senator Sidnor, and Councilman Jones on similar subjects. You guys will see the posts. We'll post them. They'll be out. Just letting you guys know.
Yeah, so if you get me the links, if there's registration links, I can send a blast out through our MGP.
Yep, I'll send it to you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so no further questions?
Just if I could say,
Yes.
Southwest is having a meeting on June 21st on the comptroller's race. Brooke Learman's coming. Perhaps Mr. Adams, we'll see.
Okay,
I'll send you
all
something.
right. Yes.
Can you send me that date, please, so that when I
Yeah.
send out the other meetings, I include that? Because
That would
I'm
be
going to
great.
do it a wide blast.
Okay.
And I just wanted to say for the good of the meeting, this is Danielle Smith. So we have over 800 and something thousand residents in Baltimore County. And while it's great that we're doing all of these amazing things and we have 10 and 20 cars out, caravans, and some people standing out and we're doing the sound waves, again, over 800 and something thousand. What I'm hearing as a member of several different organizations and groups, and the reason why I do different things at the state and national level is because we need.
Man, how about you?
Danny, you're not
Danny.
on mute, Danny Blunt. We can hear your whole conversation. Don't talk about nobody because we're on record.
Is because I continue to hear from residents of Baltimore County talking about what their issues and concerns are and what we need to be addressing. And so with that being said, one of the things I would implore us to do is to talk to different individuals in our districts and ask them to write letters and make calls to their legislators so that we can get Christian Clark nominated as the Assistant Attorney General. So there are a host of things I would be willing to share with anyone who wants to know what a whole lot of our residents of Baltimore County are interested in and would like for the Baltimore County Democratic State Party to participate in. So with that being said, that's another great way for us to build and party build and get people to come out and vote. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anything further? If there's nothing further, I will re-entertain that motion from Tracy and second by, who seconded the motion
No
to
one did
adjourn?
yet.
Okay,
No one
can we,
did.
all right.
I'll second
Thank you, Emily Cook.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Emily. All
Okay.
right. Thank you so much for a successful evening. All those who are in favor of us adjourning the meeting, say aye.
Hi. Hi.
All right. Those opposed, say nay. I don't think anyone's opposed. Good night. Linda, let's stay behind just to reconcile, to make sure we have all of the people that came in late.
Good night, everyone.
Okay, good night. Thank you, Michael.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night,
Take care.
everyone.
Be safe.
Good night, everybody.
Take care.
Great graduation tonight at Stevenson University, my goddaughter. All
Ooh,
right.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
Now you know the rest of the story. Okay.
Hold on.